It's an API. Everybody knows the API. It's not only for the .NET or the, nowadays, because I'm not very familiar with the .NET programming environment, so I'm a little bit the doubt or I cannot agree the student only focus on the .NET programming. Yeah, you can get a job, but think about the system programming also. I think until we have the Professor Liu, anybody knows? Professor Liu taught such as system level programming, system programming, operating system programming. That's very, very important. So even though the nowadays major company lead such an operating system, okay, still we need system level programming for embedded system, FPGA, and we have the computer engineering major. So such a system called system level API. This is a system level API when you make the program for system, okay, library or whatever. So there are group of such a API system API or system called like the Win32 API for Windows programming, or POSIX API, POSIX based system that include the macOS, Linux. So I know the Android is much easier than the iOS or OS X programming, but they are still based on the Linux POSIX based system. Also Java API, so big data system, they are purely based on the Java, so Java programming. By the way, is it true? Write once, run anywhere. It's a slogan of the Java, but real story is compile once, debugging everywhere. How it works? Write once, run anywhere, everywhere. How it works?
It runs inside of
Using
virtual machine.
virtual machine. So application level, you can use the system environment, different system environment, that is virtual machine. That's the reason to run Java application, you need to install at least JRE, Java Runtime Environment. That is actually Java virtual machine. So they can interact with the system and the application. So you don't have to compile again. Java object can be handled by such a Java the virtual machine, JRE. How it works, the system call. So you can call in your source file. You can call such a, for example, I'd like to create another file. Then you can, for the app open, this is a system library, system call to create a file. What is a file, by the way? It's a data structure to manage, to keep the information, data. So to create such a data structure, you should have the storage. So you should, where it will be created, address or whatever, okay? Using that one, you need to define the file. That file should have the something information, default information, which is called header information, okay? Then let the other data structure know, like the directory should know, or the folder should know. So such a thing is very, very complicated if user need to do everything. So at that time, if you call the app open function, system call, system library, that's done. So that is the benefit of using such a system library. Okay, so this is an example of using the system library. After you open the file, okay, then you can read the data. At that time, you can provide just a parameter. Then, do you remember the dual mode? So from the user mode, then this parameter will be sent to the kernel mode, and the kernel will take care of to read the data using this information, like the file descriptor. File descriptor is the identification of the file. Okay, not file name actually. And buffer is the size to keep the return data, and how much read, 10 or 20, something like that. So it can be, your system programming will be simple. So system programming actually much simpler than application. Application program, there's a lot of logic, and the requirement is BI, business intelligence logic and whatever. But system programming can deal with the research. However, to understand, to be a good system programmer, you need to understand computer itself first, computer architecture. Okay? So that is the reason. Whenever I am asked, how can I be a data administrator? I'd like to be a system administrator. So what can I do to prepare such a thing? My answer is mostly same. Take the core subject in computer science and study hard. That's the most important thing. Okay, without understanding such a data structure, even you cannot be a good programmer. Okay. So this highlighted one is a system library. Actually, that is the everything. This is not specific logic. This is for what? So open, file state open is the read the file information. It can be done by the Unix Win32 API. It's the same thing. You can compare the Linux-based system programming and the Windows. The only difference is the different system code. Sometimes you can implement a system code, system API itself. Okay, that is the system programming. Okay. To do that, you need to understand the input and output, definition of the input and output device, the data structure. Mostly they are standardized. For example, if I implement something for the system library for USB, you need to understand what is the standard to transfer the data using USB port. Something like that. It seems to be the. You should let me know if time is up. I cannot check every time. There is no way to check the time. So sometimes one time my class is ended after 30 minutes. Nobody mentioned about that. That doesn't mean they actually they like my lecture. No, some of them keep sleeping. So please let me know. I think that we have a little bit more. I think that I can cover before we start the chapter 3. Okay. So I think we have one more class this week.
Yeah.